Have you ever felt like a plastic bag? I'm just kidding. I bet you guys thought I was going to say giving up on music. The reason I said I'm kidding is the difference. A plastic bag is not the topic of this video. So I have some personal stuff, some reflective stuff. I don't like doing that without acknowledging and or asking you guys about your experience first. Typically, have you ever felt like giving up on music yourself? Please feel free to pause the video and tell me below. Or if you're like, Sam, I'm not going to comment on your video just because you want me to. Just because you want to know more about me.
Get the fuck out of here with your Mark Zuckerberg ass Happy Hanukkah fucking...
Well, I'm with you 1000%, so I guess I'll tell you about my experience. An artist asked me this the other day, and I think I have a few things to say to artists who are asking questions like this, whether to other people or even themselves. Everyone go give this guy a follow. By the way, feel free to check out his music, because I have no idea why he wouldn't appreciate that, or any artist. Now, when people ask me questions like this, lots of things go on in my head. Like, why is he asking me? Do I come across, at least in my Instagram, as someone who at some point felt like giving up on music? Do people ever ask you how you got into music? Or how long you have been doing music?
As if this is some sort of gerund.
These questions to me are always so profound. And people ask us them all the fucking time. None of us ever question them back because it's so, like, non-social. It's like asking where you're from. I still, to this day, never know what to tell people. Like, well, I was born in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I was raised in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And I moved out to Westchester, Pennsylvania at 19 so I could start making music entirely alone and do my thing. And now, 3 years later, I'm living in Atlanta. So pretty much the same as you and the rest of your friends, you know? I'm actually from a vagina. My answer about giving up on music is fuck no. Like, why would anyone feel like giving up on music? Ever. Music is such an incredible thing, but maybe I don't look at it the same way other people do. I mean, we all look at it differently, and I think a lot of that depends on where you're coming from and how you started off with music. What was your relationship with it over time? How did it grow? How did it age? How did it change? A year before I started singing, I started rapping. And a year before I started rapping, I started beat making. But I taught myself piano for 8 years before any of that shit. I taught myself, like, one day I just sat down at my dad's piano in the living room when I was 10, and I started hitting the notes one by one until I started learning through, you know, like muscle memory and shit, the differences between the notes. And then I started making habits of moving from one note to the other and how to play melodies. After a few weeks, I started emulating chords. I started playing with more than one finger at a time. It took me 4 years to start using my thumbs when I was playing. A lot of people who love my music don't even know this about me. But there's some old videos I'll link in the description of myself playing. These are like buried deep within the fucking pits of Samuel's past on YouTube. They're such low quality, but I cherish those years so much that I feel the need to keep them up anyway. Because, I mean, how the fuck else am I going to come across videos of me playing piano, at least that are, you know, quality to the point where someone could hear them and be impressed with it? I don't know who would hear that quality, but that's only because I've become a producer since then, and I am obsessed with quality to the point of, you know, like fucking, like, suicide. But I taught myself piano, and music was always a very natural thing for me. I never had to discipline myself, or actually ever feel disciplined or pressured by others to gravitate toward it. I don't think that's how it should fucking work for people, like in the situations that turn out best in the end. I think the most successful artists in history, interestingly enough, are the ones who are and or were unshakable in their interest. Like literally, no matter what you do, you cannot separate the musician from creating the music. It's absolutely impossible. No matter what you do, try, use, there's literally no way to do it. You could burn down my studio. I mean, I'd seriously fucking prefer that you don't, but God forbid if my studio burned down. I would eventually figure out a way to get a better one for myself and start using someone else's in the process anyway, so I can keep practicing. Like, my passion for music is like unfathomably just unshakable. It's intrinsic. There's nothing that can take it away from me because it's fucking within me. If you ever feel like giving up on music, I am damn well willing to bet that you are trying to tell yourself that your passion is not enough. Your passion for music is not enough. Well, what's trying to shake it out of you? I feel like that's a good question to ask. What's trying to break you away from the shit that saved you from, presumably, especially if you're a rapper, the darkest depths of your past? If it's the future, remember, time is an illusion. And even if it's not, if you want to speak contextually and situationally, then the best way to predict the future is to create it for yourself. But if you don't feel like you're made for music, anyone I don't know who values my advice, but anyone who wonders what I have to say about it, is make a decision to either stick to it or quit it as soon as possible. Give yourself a concrete deadline to do so if you have to. And if you quit, search and search and search relentlessly until you can find your calling, your passion. Most people are born with interests, but some people are born with passions. And they find, the earlier you find it for yourself, the better. If you're fucking old as fuck and you still find it at like 70, kudos to you. You fucking won the lottery. Like, go you. But it's really important to ask yourself, are you actually passionate about music? Or if not, are you passionate about becoming passionate about music? Because I think it was Jeff Bezos who said, you don't choose your passions choose you. And I don't think that's entirely true, although he's like one of my like top mentors in life. Like, I think if you're not made for something, your willpower to bend the twig and grow the tree in a different direction is what ultimately possesses the ability to determine what you're meant to do. But if you aren't passionate about music or passionate about becoming passionate about music, I don't think you should bother. Either you're 100% or you're 100% on becoming 100% or just stop. Because a lot of artists, you can just see it on their profiles, you can hear it in their voice, you could definitely see it in their lyrics and message and everything. They don't want this shit. They really don't, because everything pushing them is coming from outside sources, external environmental factors. Some artists are like, you know, they're in between and they're figuring it out. And that's more than okay in my opinion. I have a call. Let me get to that. But some artists are like in between and they're figuring it out. And in my opinion, that's totally okay. The problem is that with time, like I said, it may be an illusion, but the human experience cannot be limited to one given frame, one given presence. So long as that presence, that now, that moment experiences itself over and over again. To the point where people are like, hey, there's a sequence of this. Let's figure out a measurement system for it. Time may be an illusion, but it's the only thing that's probably never gonna stop fucking ever. So what I'd say is, have you ever felt like giving up on music? If the answer is no, fucking awesome. By all means, please keep it that way and do your thing. If the answer is yes, are you passionate about it? If the answer to that question is yes, then haha, you're fucking kidding, because if you're passionate about it, you don't ever feel like giving up on it. If the answer to the question is no, well, are you passionate about becoming passionate about it? If the answer to that question is yes, fucking awesome. Please do your thing, but become passionate faster. Because again, time does not tolerate indecision. And so long as you are procrastinating on the decision of bending that twig and growing your tree in the best direction for your legacy as a spiritual being, you are sucking on the dick of time. But if the answer to that question is no, then keep searching and searching and searching. This is a cold fucking world. But you have time to find what sets you on fire. Some people say you have more than you think, some say you have less than you think, but what matters most is that the clock will not stop ticking until you do. I know that was a seriously morbid way of ending a video, especially about music, of all things. But what do you guys think? Have you ever felt like giving up on music? Please let me know what you got out of it. Also, let me know if you guys have any ideas you want me to talk about in future videos, and I'll give you a shout out if and when I use them. If you have any questions, please feel free to hit me up. There are links at the bottom of the description to all my social media. Also at the bottom of the description there are links to my production kits where you can find all the hardware and software that I use to make music and these videos. If you buy any, I get commission, which helps me build this channel and keep making these videos for you guys. I made all the beats in this video. If you want to use them, you can find links to each one from first to last in the description or at samuel.earth/beats. Make sure to leave a like if you like it, subscribe if you haven't already. If you could turn on that little bell to receive a notification every time I drop a new video, that will mean the world to me. Thank you guys so much for watching. You can find me everywhere and I'll see you then.